if I was forced to, I would have to part,
Well, you have to break up with friends. You famously said to me once that these books were your friends.
Yes. And in my preface, I say lovers and everything else. Adversaries. Adversaries.
Adversaries, yeah. Well, friends become enemies, and enemies become friends, and back and forth, and you just have a relationship with the thing.
Yes. But the books caused me many problems with the men in my life. Because I was a collector, a seasonal collector. I mean, I was eclectic in my collections, from popular literature to highbrow that I couldn't understand depending on my age.
Right.
So I didn't know.
Aspirational books.
Catastrophic stories.
I think Thomas Mann is mine.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what?
What?
I don't much like him. But let's not go into that.
No, that's a well unto itself. But I want you to tell me, you were just telling me about the first two books that you got and who you got them from.
Oh, yes. Up to that age, still in Mexico.
You were like
the book
10 or 12 or?
Oh, I was more, about 10.
10?
Yeah, 9 to 10.
Prime reading years for a girl.
Yes. And the schools provided us the readings. The first book I ever owned was a collection of love poems of the famous poet Amado Nervo. I forget what century he was, but anyway, that was one of the first books. And then my father went to Monterrey, Mexico, and in a business trip. And when he came back, he brought me the Spanish version of two books. Tom Sawyer, Las Aventuras de Tom Sawyer, and Heidi. And I remember that very clearly because I had never owned a book. And as we said, I was about 10 years old. And I had never owned a book, and now I had these two books. And it was a big surprise. In retrospect, I feel that that my father knew a little bit of who I might be. Of course, I didn't at the time. I mean, does a 10-year-old think that? I don't know. But he didn't give many gifts, so it was something so memorable that I still see him giving them to me.
Yeah.
Like a cameo, a little movie I can make every time I want to meditate on a memory.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about our moves right now, from house to house to house.
Right.
And they brought up the problematic of me and the books and men. Because...
That doesn't include me, does it? Not after all this. Can I be the exception to the rule? Me and Nick?
My dear, you have been working on being the exception for quite a while. You have. That's a great compliment.
It sure is. I'm all blushy. Am I red? Yeah, I'm red. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, because the saga of the books, now that I think about it, because you sort of, we were talking, and they just came flashing out of the memory bank.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes on for decades and decades.
Well, since the beginning, every move has involved some massive scale production to move the books.
Yes. And since it is usually men you hire to be able to have the muscle for those boxes, or at least in my times, and that the fact that I relied on friends to help me because I was poor and pay the expenses of moving, and I couldn't carry all of them.
No.
myself.
Yeah.
And I think, they never ceased. Some of them were friends, and
Were.
Yeah, well, they started to lose me, so to speak, because I guess I was a pain of some sort.
Well, you're not a pain. You're just like this passive nudge. Like it's not going to get done. Even now at 82, and I'm 62, and I'm like lifting boxes I had never touched. Finding strength in my loins I never knew I had. But oh man, I made it. Nick did too, Lord love him. No,
Yes.
Well, people need to know why the books are so important, and I've been explaining it online, but I think if you can just tell them thank you for helping us with the money they did, because it was Ubers, it was trucks, it was fighting tolls. I was in violation for a moment. It was everything that was thrown at anyone in the world was thrown at. It was a true Job moment, not a Joe moment, a Job moment for both of us. And of course the books and her archive, her writings, her notebooks, and everything that was really precious, that I was coming back for and then was denied, which was, the truck got filled, blah, blah, and a horror story began with an opportunist, who we had trusted. So yeah, there you go. Blah, blah, more mom. So, but Mom, tell them thank you. Tell them how grateful we are for all their help.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I started out, let's say, my career, and was liberated, if you will, by having one, a career that I enjoyed. And when I started out that way, I often wondered, where the fuck am I going to end up? Because being from Mexican descent, we are familiar with death, not only literally, but metaphorically.
Yeah, in the household even. With decorations, my goodness, I keep some. And so the question, where am I going to end up now that I'm free to move around in the world? And with an incipient career. And here I am. In Brewer, probably a development of some 50 years or more years ago of Bangor, because Bangor is very close here. Yeah, very close. It's across the river.
And it's in renovation mode right now.
Yeah.
One of my biggest disappointments was that Joe informed me that Stephen King doesn't live here anymore. He visits, but he doesn't live here anymore. He's in Florida.
Stephen King doesn't live here anymore.
And I thought, because when I moved this last time, I saw the Stephen King book, It, that Nick, I think, they gave me for Christmas.
That's right.
And
we've been giving you Stephen King for our main adventure.
Exactly. They kept giving me Stephen King. And I had never seen any of his movies because, to me, it's a horror movie. Life is horror in itself. Why do I need that for?
Right?
So, I very, very much thank you and helping us out in a bad situation when we needed to move for a variety of reasons.
With no resources.
With a landlord.
Yeah.
Fortunately, both Joe and I are avid readers of Jane Austen, and and also movie goers. I've seen all the movies around Austen's work, and those were my first mature readings. That is when I was old enough to understand that much English. but both of us are fans, so I mean, that living in that cottage for a while just reminded me of Sense and Sensibility.
That's right. That's right.
And so we could share those jokes.
Totally. Yes.
And I thank you so very much.
So much.
So much for helping us to move to Brewer, Maine, real close to Bangor.
Brewer, Maine. I think our home. This house is beautiful. Check out the view. Pure sunset magic. Thank you so much.